In a quiet corner of the countryside, the community of Twineham is rallying together to preserve something deeply cherished: Twineham Primary School. This small educational institution has been more than just a building. It has been a cornerstone of the community, nurturing generations of children and fostering a sense of belonging. As proposals emerge that threaten its existence, local residents are uniting in a heartfelt appeal to safeguard their beloved school and ensure that its future generations continue to benefit from the values and education it provides. And good evening, we're here with Latest TV and we're going to be interviewing Nicola. Nicola, can you please tell me why you're here today?
Hi, I'm here because I want to talk about my children's school. The council are trying to close it, or they're consulting on closing the school.
And your child goes to this school?
Yes, two of my children go to the school.
Right, so it's a personal matter as well?
It is, yes. It's called Twineham Church of England School, and it's in mid-Sussex near Hickstead. The school's been going for over 160 years, and there's a lot of passionate support for the school from everyone who has ever been there, because it is a rural, idyllic school. It's just such a lovely ground, and it's just a haven for children, and everyone is just so sad that they want to close it.
So why is it closing? What's happened to the place?
So about 8 years ago, the school was full to capacity. It was a very popular school. And then in the last few years, sadly, the numbers have declined for various reasons. And the council have taken the decision that it's not worth funding anymore. And so they've opened a consultation, which is live at the moment, to ask people how they feel about closing the school.
Can you explain what the consultation is, please?
So it's an online consultation, and it doesn't give you a lot of space, but it just gives you a couple of lines to say why you feel the school should not be closing.
And this is open to the public?
Open to everybody, yes.
And at the moment, I heard there was 100 students, and it's now dwindled to less than 50%, 70% now? Yeah,
unfortunately, the numbers dwindled down to about 48 before the end of the school term, at the end of the summer term. And then when the council announced that they wanted to close the school, a lot more people left because there was a lot of panic in the parents. There was a lot of upset that, will they be able to find their child in another school? Because a lot of the surrounding schools are actually virtually full, and some of the year groups even have waiting lists. Mm-hmm. It's literally just this school which the numbers have really gone down because people just weren't happy with various things. And so that's left us in a much more difficult position, in that there's a lot less children there now.
And there was a fear that the other children, there was going to be halved from 40 down to about 26, 22, depending on who's there.
Yeah.
And your children are part of that low number. Now, what is the panic? What's the anxiety you're feeling? What are you doing with your children? How do you feel about that?
Well, there's a couple of things. So the children who have left now are obviously having to struggle with the getting introduced to a new school. Some siblings have been split up. So, for example, there's one child who's in the top year group, and the parent decided he's better left where he is. The other siblings been moved to another school, so they've now been split up. There's anxiety on the other end with parents who have got a child in the school, and a youngest child needs to start school, and they're in a dilemma. What do I do now? So do they go to a different school? I know one lady who put her child in another school couldn't get the sibling in, so she'd have to keep the child off school, even though she's just turned into school age. And then you've got the anxiety within the school because a lot of parents, a lot of the children are now, suddenly their friends have all gone, where they were there in July. Now they've come back in September. All their friends have gone. It's really unsettling. for everyone, including the teachers. A lot of teachers are now starting to, like the assistant teachers are starting to leave. And then you've got the issue of the SEND children. Because a lot of SEND children can't cope with larger schools because it's too much sensory overload for them. And so you've got children who are now probably having to be taken out of school altogether because there aren't any nearby schools which they can go to because they're all so much bigger and busier. And then you've got children who are still in school but really struggling with all the changes they're having to put the big house to program.
Understandable. Now, who actually owns the property? How does that work?
Well, as far as I know, the original old building, which is 160 years old, is owned by the church, because that was an old tithe barn that was built, and then I think somebody donated the rest of the land for the school field to the council, so it's owned by two separate.
Right, so I guess it's a bit complicated and muddy waters. So if you've got the church one side, they own the older part, and there was the new build, which is owned by the council. Now, if they are going to remove this school and bring the children to other areas, do you have a plan? Do you have a thinking what you could do to help?
For my children?
For the community.
Oh, for the community? Well, we've looked into different options. The council have looked into turning it into a SEND school, but it was deemed too small because they want to put SEND children into larger schools, even though many children can't cope with a larger school. We've been looked at amalgamating with other local schools or being brought into owned by a private school umbrella, and all these things have been rejected.
So if you speak to someone in the council, and obviously you speak to people at the church, if it is going to be given up, you've got an opportunity to take over that little area, in that sense.
It would be a lot of work.
Of course.
But you never know. I mean, there's an awful lot of support for this school because it is really close to people's hearts. People just hate it when it's time for them to leave. It's just such a lovely school.
So what can people do to support?
Well, they can go on the consultation page and have their say. They can write to West Sussex County Council. And also one other thing I'd like to mention as well is the amount of house building in the area, because there are plans in place for putting like thousands of houses all around the area. People are always moving up from Brighton or down from London. It's just that kind of mid area where everyone kind of wants to bring children up, because it's so rural and just a safe place, really. So, I mean, we're never going to run out of children in that area. So, you know, what's going to happen when all these new houses are built? Where are these children going to go to school? All the surrounding schools are pretty much full.
As the fight to save Twineham Primary School unfolds, the community's resilience shines brightly, with passionate voices echoing the importance of preserving their educational legacy. The residents are determined to make their stand, whether through peaceful protests, petitions, or heartfelt stories about the school's impact. This small community is reminding us all of the vital role that local schools play in shaping not only the lives of the children, but the very fabric of our society. The outcome remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the people of Twineham are committed to ensuring that their school remains a vibrant part of their community for years to come.